Alright guys, welcome back to another video. As you guys can see, this is the current physique update. This is how we're looking, I'd say about like 2 weeks into the cut. Still sitting around 180. Like I said in yesterday's video, we're in like a recon phase right now. Ideally, I've been getting leaner, but still staying at the same body weight, getting stronger and building muscle at the same time. A question that I get asked a lot, Brian, when are you gonna be doing your next show? If you guys don't know, I've competed 2 times before. Ideally, I wanna get my pro card in classic physique. No. Let me rephrase that. I will get my pro card in classic physique. It's just a matter of when. Since my last show about like 2 summers ago, I've committed myself to not stepping on stage again until I'm ready to win. These past 2 years, my main goal has been to accrue as much muscle tissue, work on my weak points, and just develop mentally and physically before I step on stage again and go for that pro card. At the spot I'm sitting at now, I could enter a local amateur show and do pretty well. The thing is though, that local amateur show is gonna be the telltale on how I do at the national level. If I don't get first place at the local show, in my head, it doesn't even make sense for me to even go to nationals. You gotta think everyone who's going to nationals is also in that same boat. Everyone who qualified to get to nationals was most likely placing first or second at their local shows, but now it's just a bigger pool of people from all around the United States. The way classic physique works is, for my height, 5'6" and below, I could be up to and including 172 pounds on stage. Last time I stepped on stage, I was a little heavier than like 160 pounds. So realistically, that gives me like 10 pounds of stage weight, 10 pounds of pure muscle, which is a lot. 10 pounds of true, actual muscle tissue. It's not easy. It doesn't happen overnight. So like I said, that's been my main focus. I am entering a fat loss phase now. This does not mean that I'm in prep for a competition. Like I just said a little bit before, I've been recomping at like 180. So if my weight stays pretty high, continue to lean out while building muscle, and then by the end of the fat loss phase, if I'm right around or near that weight cap of 172 pounds, then it might make sense for me to start a prep. But at the end of the cutting phase, if I'm below 170, then it's gonna be in my best interest to probably do another growing season at the end of summer into the winter, and then consider a show summer of 2025. For those who are wondering, I may compete at the end of this year. Chances are I may wait and just do it next summer. So, I'm making my pre and post workout meals. As you saw, ran out of cream of rice, so I just blended up some more. First meal, my pre-workout meal is gonna be the usual, just protein powder and cream of rice. The second one, I usually don't do cream of rice with my post-workout meal, but today I am. And I'm gonna have, I believe it's 8 ounces of chicken. And you guys saw me grill this up last night, but it reminded me that while I was at it, I did marinate the other half of the chicken. So I got buffalo sauce and I added dehydrated onions and dehydrated garlic. So really excited to cook that later. I smelled it, it smells delicious. A little bit less carbs in my pre-workout meal, only 80 grams of cream of rice. And then post-workout, I get a little bit more. I'm just gonna do 100 grams in that one. Now you may be asking yourself, why are you prepping your post-workout meal now if you could just eat it when you get home? To be honest, I just like to be prepared. There used to be like this whole myth about like the anabolic window. You don't have X amount of protein within 30 minutes after your workout, you're missing out on gains, which it's been proven is not true. I mean, I work up an appetite when I train. So by the time I'm leaving the gym, especially if I do a little bit of cardio, I'm super hungry. So if I can eat right there in the parking lot and then just go home, shower, do my thing, I'd rather that than have to do the extra step of driving home, making the meal, eating. You know, it's about efficiency. I barely do it. Said I got my pre-workout and post-workout meals all prepped. I'm gonna eat this one, save this for later, and I'll see you guys at the gym. So I got leggers today. Specifically, I have hamstrings, and I'm kind of in like a weird position right now because normally on Tuesdays, this is my quad day. But one of my good friends, training partner, client, Matthew, the next coming of Arnold, me and him were training quads all throughout the winter together, and we were just having like some of like the most intense, hardest sessions possible. I do think like leg day, specifically quad day, when you're doing like hack squats, barbell squats, leg press, like these are very taxing, demanding exercises that if you're not in the right mindset for them, you're going to hold yourself back. It is very easy not to push yourself and to get comfortable and to stop short, you know, to not push yourself to that true failure. Having someone there, having someone to push you, having someone to kind of cheer you on, you know, it helps a lot. We agreed we're going to switch our quad day to Saturday. 1 day a week we'll be able to train together. I've had to switch up my split, so I'm doing hamstrings. Even though I just hit them on Saturday, they're still feeling a little bit tight, a little bit sore. I'm going to do a little bit of hamstrings today. You know, I'm going to sprinkle in some arms. First exercise right now, I'm going to be doing my first working set of 77 pounds. That got 13 reps. I think I got like 9 or 10 the last week. So it's off to a good start. Now for the second set, I'm going to keep the weight the same, but I'm going to add an intensifier. I'm going to do a rest pause set for 3 sets total. The way rest pause sets work is you're going to have your most energy at the first set and your least energy at the last set, because you're going to be pre-exhausted from the previous 2 sets you did, since you only have a short amount of rest time. So ideally, you're aiming for like 10 to 15 on the first set, 5 to 8 reps on the second set, and you're lucky to only get 1 to 3 on the third set. On. The 50 kg dumbbells, I believe that's 110 pounds if I'm not mistaken. These are kilogram dumbbells, so you have to multiply it by 2.2 to get the weight in pounds. Last week I did 110 on the other set of dumbbells, and I got like, I didn't get past 10, so that's gonna be my goal for today. All right, so that was 13 reps. Held back on the 14th because I knew I was gonna fail on it. So just save my energy for the second set. I'll drop down a little and take that one to failure again. I'm going from 110 pounds to 99 pounds. So I'm about to do my second leg curl variation, seated leg curl. The reason I don't start with this is because with this specific machine, the weight feels like super light. Like I'm 2 stacks away from maxing it out. If I started with this movement, I would have been able to max it out. Only because I'm pre-exhausted from all the volume and exercises that I did prior is why this makes sense to implement later in the workout. The machine only goes up to 190 pounds. I'm on 160. And on top of that too, on every 4th rep, I'm also gonna hold the contraction for a full 5 seconds. So this one, I'm really just focusing on getting a good stretch and squeeze. Honestly, like most movements, focus on your execution, your tempo, and your form, and then the intensity will come. Don't try to prioritize intensity first, and then forget about your form, execution, and tempo. Before, you guys saw me make the salmon. Now I have something special. I showed you guys this before. This has been chicken that I've been marinating for like 24 hours at this point. This is completely new. I've never tried anything like this. What I did was I put Frank's buffalo wing sauce. I think there's onions, like dehydrated onions, garlic, and a little bit of salt. It smells really, really good. All right, time to see how they're looking. Honestly, see how the foot goes. Bro. It's not. That looks disgusting. This is not planning out as how I thought it was gonna be. I will admit, now that the chicken's off the grill and it's in the light a bit more, it doesn't look half bad, but definitely did not turn out the way I expected. I was assuming, see, it's got no char whatsoever, besides that one little piece there. But I was thinking that the dehydrated onions were gonna get like super crispy, but I didn't factor in that they were gonna be marinating in buffalo sauce overnight. Plan wasn't executed how I initially planned, but it's okay. You know, let's hope it still tastes good. This stuff is magic. I have my rest day coming up tomorrow, which means I'm gonna have a lot lower carbs than I do on my training days. 4 out of the 5 meals are gonna have no carbs. The reason I do this is because I'm not as active on my rest days. Obviously, I'm not gonna be going to the gym. I'm not gonna be training. I will be getting my cardio in, but there's no need for the surplus of glycogen and energy that is going to be required for that day or for those daily activities. And on top of that too, by slightly depleting my body of carbohydrates, also keeps my insulin sensitivity in check. So, which is something I've been trying to improve because I got pretty fat this winter. Yeah. So yeah, cauliflower rice is like my go-to vegetable. I love it because it's low calorie and high volume. And on top of that too, it's gonna mimic the taste and texture of rice. Essentially, you're tricking your body into thinking that you're eating rice when you're actually not. So for this meal, I'm gonna do 8 ounces of a lean protein. In this case, I'm gonna do the chicken that I just cooked. Honestly, now that it's chopped up and bagged, it looks pretty good. I did try it, I tasted it, it was tender. You know, a little bland, I will say, but not half bad. So for this meal, 8 ounces of a lean protein, 200 grams of vegetables. So I'm gonna do cauliflower rice. So here it is, basically looks like chicken and rice, and you get the benefit of eating a complete whole meal you're normally used to. Instead of just doing the 8 ounces of protein and eating the vegetables on the side, this way I can have it all together, and it's basically like I'm eating chicken and rice. Preparation is so key, especially when it comes to bodybuilding. I was having a conversation with my coach about this the other day. Being prepared to set yourself up for success. The more prepared you are leading into the next day, the better off you're going to be, especially if you're in a situation where you're wanting to get things done and you're failing to do so. I like to look at every day like I have a checklist. You know, I wake up and I have a routine. The more you can build a routine, the more you can build structure, the easier something is going to be to follow. Versus if you're not prepared, you have no structure, you're going to be all over the place and you're going to be playing catch up half the day. Speaking of preparation, one thing I always like to do is bring my meals with me. Speaking of preparation, I always like to bring my meals with me wherever I go. I always like to be prepared. I never want to be in a situation where, you know, I'm over 2-3 hours without food. So I got this probably like 3 years ago. Like right as I started getting into bodybuilding, I was like, Mom, I need a lunchbox. I'm going to start bringing foods, you know, to places, and I need to keep them cool. So this has lasted me for the longest time. And honestly, it's the old reliable. Like I was gonna throw her out, but I can't. She holds too big of a place in my heart. But the thing was, like, she was ready to go. The zipper on it, like, it only closes in the one corner. And it's small too. This like max holds like 2 meals. Like, what good does that do for me? So I recently upgraded, and I'm stoked about this. This thing is sick. So check it out. A lot bigger than the other, as you guys can clearly see. Pretty sure I could probably hold up to like 5 meals in here, which is absolutely insane. So this is gonna be like my new go-to lunchbox. It's perfect for the beach. Yeah, I've been so excited about it. The color's so cool. The design is sick. So just figured I'd share that with you guys. But I imagine this will probably be the end of the video. If you guys did enjoy this episode, please drop a like, subscribe. See you guys in the next video.